GameStop have their Retro program where they offer high-quality retro video games at a reasonable price. Now, we looked at them last year right after they launched, and the selection was incredibly minimal, and the conditions were generally pretty terrible. Now that a year has passed, have they gotten better? And most importantly, how do they stack up to the real benchmark in the space? DKOldies. I'm in danger. So if I go to GameStop Retro, we got everything from NES through Wii U, PSP, Vita, Xbox, you name it. Oh my God, $399 for a new 3DS XL. The price on these things just keep going up and up and up. Let's take a look to see if I can find a 3DS on DKOldies. DKOldies has a 3DS, the original, for $330.
Are you sure you're going old enough?
I hate to say this, but the 3DS is retro now. Original 3DS from GameStop is $260. About to spend $600 buying a couple of dumbass 3DSs.
How about we search for Sega things? Sega.
Well, so she look at like a model, maybe like a Model 3? But does DKOldies have the same thing? I actually need to make sure that they really are matched. No Genesis 3s, but they have some Model 2s. GameStop actually feels like they have more in stock. Okay, let's just pick a clean Model 2. Hold on. Are they using the same photo? They literally are using the same photo! Okay, so GameStop Retro has a PS2 Slim, a complete system. They show a photo of the box. They're lying. Can I find a PS2 from DKOldies? Wow! DKOldies are way more expensive. Is that like a thing? Can I say that GameStop is maybe good? Is that like a series of words that can come out of my mouth? I don't think I'm supposed to say that, right? All right, so with that, it is time to place the identical orders at both DKOldies and GameStop to see exactly what we're working with here. And so, let us take a closer look. As you can see, while DKOldies gave us everything in a single box, GameStop shipped it in 3 different orders. Now, I was told that GameStop have actually changed some of their retro policies so that they're trying to source more of their consoles from their main warehouse and do a better job, but let's see if that's actually the case. Oh shit, here we go again. All right, this is not terrible, so well padded. And that is our Game Boy Pocket used. I mean, it looks pretty good. Now, with GameStop, they don't give you a lot of sort of details on the quality level, right? We've gotten some consoles that look great and clean. We've seen a lot that are dirty and disgusting. This one was just called pre-owned, right?
That is correct.
So the screen lens, which is one of the things I would look for on these, not particularly scratched. So the other thing I look for on Game Boys a lot, this little piece of metal on the inside. As a Game Boy is being used, you put games in and out, that tends to scuff. So not only the piece of metal, but also this plastic, kind of putting it in and out, it looks really minty. This was not a Game Boy that I think saw a ton of hours. You see it's yellowed, but that just shows me that that's actually real. That is a good sign. Let's take a look at what DKOldies have for us. So this is our DKOldies Game Boy Pocket. Something is off on the bottom of that screen. It's gonna be really hard to see. Is that mold? Oh, when they put it in, there's a little piece of foam to keep the glass from touching the actual display. I can see a little bit of that foam popping out on the inside. I don't wanna ding them for putting new parts, that's good. Right? There's no reason why an older console should just be scrapped because it's not original anymore. But that's a shoddy job to not install the screen and the lens right. I mean, to be fair, if you put them side by side, it's definitely a reproduction because you can see the difference in the font here, right? So if you look at the plastic on the top, you see all those little scuff lines? That's really common just because every time you put a game in and out, it would scuff it. I guess let's go ahead and fire these up and see if they actually work. So let's start by trying our GameStop Game Boy. So there's a little bit of, I'll say I can see a shadow. That's not uncommon with these Game Boy Pockets, if I'm honest with you. The screen is certainly a little bit on the rough side, but it is definitely a pretty clean Game Boy. So now let's try with our DKOldies console. I'm just gonna hit the screen on both of these and see. You know what? No, this doesn't have a new screen in it. I think what they did was they just changed the screen lens. And that screen lens probably came with a little bit of foam. Dude, that kind of bothers me though, man. That.
That would bother me.
It is actually almost the same because it's got the same slight shadow underneath. I think I've seen what I need to see here. So basically, GameStop definitely delivers a much cleaner and mintier console, but I don't think they had anything to do with that, right? Someone traded in a nice clean Game Boy Pocket, they turned around and sold it. Alex, let's start with GameStop. How much did I pay for my Game Boy Pocket?
We paid $90.
Not cheap But ballpark, what about DKOldies?
We paid $100.
So we paid more for DKOldies for a console that was modified and upgraded in a way, but just sloppily. This first round is a very clear win for GameStop. Cheaper, better quality console. I don't know that that's gonna hold up though as we continue. My expectations are down here. Next up, let's take a look at our GameStop Sega Genesis, specifically the Model DOS. That's what they call it. The cool kids, they call it the Model DOS.
So then what are you saying it for?
Before I totally open it, yeah. I just opened so many GameStop consoles that were like an Xbox thrown in a box with zero padding that it's nice to actually get someone who actually gives somewhat of a shit. This also does seem like it's coming from their like main location. Oh, and look at it, it's got another box too. We've got a controller, which is an original controller. Okay, so that was one of my first questions, because DKOldies specifically tried to upcharge me to get an original controller. The original like first party power adapter weighs like 75 pounds, it's ridiculous. This is a third party, which is fine, I guess, as long as it doesn't catch on fire. Whoa, they gave me like an RF tuner? Really? And we have ourselves the Genesis Model 2 and nothing else. So again, this is in pre-owned condition. So definitely had like some tape on it at some point. It's very like sticky here. I mean, I think most Genesises were sticky at some point. What?
Huh? What?
Speak for
Why?
yourself. Oh my God.
Oh my God, please don't break the thing before you even try it.
It doesn't sound good. I will, you know what, maybe this port was never opened. I'll just trust that the pins on the inside are fine. Again, pretty encouraging, right? For DKOldies, we have ourselves, this is gonna be an old school controller. It is a 6-button controller, but this is a brand new controller. I mean, I always like to have the originals. The third parties aren't really as desirable in my opinion. This one does come with the RCA, which I would prefer. Ha! Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. This is the original power adapter. It is incredibly heavy. Oh, so heavy. Oh, gross, what the hell? Ew. It's still like actively sticky. My guess is that this got massively scuffed, and what this stickiness is they actually tried to fix it. I appreciate the fact they tried to hide it, but the problem is the shade of black paint they put on it, presumably, is different.
Yeah, that looks bad.
It does not look encouraging. So it still has the feet on it, which I'm actually realizing the GameStop one doesn't. Does this one pop off? Look at that. See, this is what you're supposed to do. What condition is the DKOldies one in? And please tell me it's not good.
The DKOldies is in acceptable condition.
Okay, cool. That is what I was hoping for. Again, GameStop doesn't let you choose, DKOldies does. The other thing I'm noticing here is that GameStop, they didn't really take the 3 minutes it would have taken to like fully clear this off. Like it looks like there was like a label or like some tape on here or some stickers. I think if I was gonna pick between the two just on physical appearance, I would go GameStop. All right, so let's start out by trying our GameStop Sega Genesis. Hey, immediately. Original controller for sure. It works, but I'll tell you that the right side, the right side of the D-pad is essentially worn in. The left side actually like depresses. The right side is just depressed. Am I just dumb? Why does every button do the exact same thing? Can I not charge right now?
I don't think you control that in the first game.
Oh, okay. Yay! I mean, no complaints about GameStop, right? I think the console clearly works. Let's try our DKOldies console. Boom, works. Yeah, so I will say I actually kind of like the old school controller here. This one is fresh, even if it's not quite as original. What do we pay on GameStop for our Model 2 Genesis?
We paid $75.
Which seems about right.
So for DKOldies, we paid $70.
If I'm gonna give DKOldies some props here, rare opportunity, they do give you a 1-year warranty. Now, whether or not they will, honor the warranty and whatnot, that's a little bit of a different story. But like, generally speaking, having a 1-year warranty is a very nice thing. GameStop has a week or two?
7 days.
7 days. I still generally think that the GameStop console is in much better shape, but this one's a lot closer, right? Like, I think GameStop clearly won round 1. Round 2, it's a little bit more of a toss-up. Moving right along, we should have our Nintendo 3DS. We've talked about this so many times in the past. 3DS values have absolutely skyrocketed. I remember when we did our video on physical games, one of the main things we talked about there with one of the vendors was how 3DSs are almost impossible to get your hands on. If I would have put in a bunch of money into 3DSs and Nintendo stock, would I be better off buying 3DSs?
Nintendo stock actually, in the last couple of years, has gone slightly down, technically.
There's no better place to invest your life savings into a bunch of Nintendo consoles. Okay, so this is an original Nintendo 3DS, so a launch model in the red colorway. The top of it is fairly scuffed. Ooh, some like gunk and some like residue. It's got like there's some DNA on this. It does have a stylus. Sometimes these things have gone missing, but that looks okay. It does actually still have the original 2 GB SD card, but the big question, especially with handhelds, are what do the screens look like? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's fine. Again, GameStop, man, this is in actually pretty good shape. The screen's not really like yellowed. Sometimes that happens, especially on like DSs. Okay, off. Never ever 3D again. Dude, I looked at the 3D for like 1 second, I immediately got a headache. Ugh. Alex, can I turn on my parental controls?
No.
Oh, okay. Beautiful. Okay, this 3DS seems to be in good shape. We'll actually try to play a game on it in a minute. I cannot believe that I'm about to say this, but we're basically 3 for 3 on GameStop Retro right now. DKOldies has their work cut out for them. Third-party power adapter, so not an original one. All right, so when it comes to the DKOldies 3DS, a little bit cleaner on the A cover, I'll say. Some scuffs, but not too bad. Oh, no stylus. DKOldies didn't give me a stylus. And also, DKOldies took off the serial number, which is strange. Does this have an SD card in it? It does, and it is this same 2 GB. I don't like the fact that it's missing the stylus, but I mean, it feels like they did clean it moderately well. And pretty good on the inside. Oh, you know, there's like little bits of like something on here. So like around the A button, the like finish is sort of worn off. Like I can actually feel like this sort of shininess has been sort of rubbed off of it. Alex, this one is in good condition, right? Not acceptable. This one is like good condition.
It is supposed to be in good condition, yeah.
Yeah, which I generally agree with. But the problem is there's no stylus. And while, yeah, the stylus is probably something you can get for like $2 on Temu, I want a stylus for my 3DS.
The description says that a compatible stylus is included.
Yeah, so I would assume if I reach out to if Ray Tracy reaches out to DKOldies, they would probably ship a stylus, but that's a pain, right? Wow, that's sure photo if I've ever seen one. Yeah, this is looking a little bit rough for DKOldies, if you can imagine. Let's start out by trying our GameStop console, make sure that our good buddy Luigi is still afraid of things. Scary world out there, y'all.
It's a scary world in here.
Cite several examples, please. Can we get something resembling lubrication? Man, you know what? Nintendo kind of cooked with the 3DS. I've seen enough. I think that GameStop console gets a complete and total pass. Let's try our DKOldies console. This one's fairly close as far as the DKOldies console isn't in terrible shape, but it is missing a stylus. It definitely has more wear on it. And if I remember correctly, this one was more expensive. How much did we pay, first and foremost, for our GameStop 3DS?
$260.
It's a lot of money, but I don't think that's actually a terrible deal.
The range starts at about maybe like 140, 150, and then it'll go up to the 250 range.
So this is a reasonable deal. What do we pay on DKOldies?
We paid $330. That's a big jump.
Look, man, I know that this comes with a 1-year warranty, and like that is worth something. It is not worth $70. It's not a good look when GameStop beats you head to head. All right, now we should be taking a look at our slim PlayStation dose. Okay, that's not a great sign.
Blech.
What in the mad cats is this?
Ugh.
TTX tech? How about PP? I can almost break it with my hands. It's got this like fake like rubber, like sort of like leather texture to it. It does smell, interestingly, of Febreze. We have the original power adapter and our PS2 Slim. A little dirty. There's like residue on the top. It looks like toothpaste. Ooh, dust. Ooh, yeah, we got a lot of dust inside that vent. Oh, this isn't. Wait, they shipped a PS2 Slim with Ethernet and a 56K modem?
Apparently that was a thing on like the early, only
Slims.
North American models.
Interesting. Short of the fact that it's dusty, which I do think a little bit of compressed air would probably knock out stuff like on the inside of the vent. And you might actually have to put some like elbow grease in to get some of this off, but there's no forgiveness for this piece of shit though. No. So if we look at DKOldies, okay, so this is a third-party reproduction controller with these ugly buttons on it. It actually looks pretty new. How much were they charging if I wanted the original PS2 controller? There was a big upcharge.
Yeah, they charge an extra $30.
I will say, not in their defense or anything, but DualShock 2s are actually kind of expensive controllers. Okay, so sure. Now this is supposed to be in good condition, right?
This one actually doesn't say condition, it just says refurbished.
It's just refurbished, period?
It just says refurbished, period.
Ooh, little scuffed on the top. They actually have almost the same amount of sort of dust buildup. Whoa! This one also has the 5016 mode. I feel like I look at a lot of like old consoles. That's crazy that both of these have the line-in jack. Condition-wise, I think these are both in the ballpark. It smells like DKOldies, I don't know why. Well, let's fire them up and see if they actually work. Let's start out with our GameStop console. This feels like heresy, but I'm gonna play some Crazy Taxi for PS2. Okay, cool. Okay. These sound mostly like happy PS2 noises. Oh God, this controller's disgusting. It is just... Anyway, let's play some... Crazy Taxi. She called me a dork.
I mean, is she wrong?
Oh, it's a clean run, it's a clean run. Oh, that was a clean run. We can confirm pretty simply that the GameStop console fully functional. Let's try with DKOldies. It's a good sign. In fact, no, bad sign. No, it's not loading. It's not spinning. Oh no. What if I pop it? Watch. Oh, it is spinning.
Oh, so it just took a really long time.
I mean, you saw I literally pulled it out of the functioning PS2 and put it in the other one.
I don't like that.
I don't like that at all. That.
Oh yeah, it's like a scratch.
That again, that. Also, the vibration on this is just on. It's vibrating all right. Obviously it's a new controller, but I mean, just listen to it. Stop. Ah! This one, I think, is a pretty clear win for GameStop, right? And even though I don't like this sort of janky, dumb controller, the vibration on this is like 4 times higher than a normal controller. Like my hand literally feels a little numb because of how like hard it was shaking. I also am concerned about that disk drive. The fact that it didn't immediately launch, we had to restart it. So Alex, help me out here. With the PS2, how much do we pay for our GameStop console?
$160.
That's too much. That feels like too much, right? Like, what does a PS2 Slim go for?
If you buy from like kind of like professional refurbishers and stuff like that, it can go close to the 200s, around the 200s. If you're just buying from like just a guy, it's probably in like the low 100 range.
Now, if this would have come with a DualShock 2, I actually would probably be okay with $160, but it's in the ballpark of almost okay. How much do we pay for our DKOldies console, Alex?
Well, if you didn't like GameStop's price, we paid $240.
What? Okay, I thought we did bad on the value on the 3DS. This is worse. I should be able to eat off this PS2. And while I could, I might not get my positive test result that I've been trying to get for a few months now. Alex, what do we pay for all of our consoles combined at GameStop?
We paid a total of $585.
Whereas at DKOldies?
$740.
That's a crazy swing. So how do we sum this up? Well, I think in many respects, GameStop wins this. And I don't think it's really that close. They were almost universally more affordable, generally speaking as good if not better on the quality front across all the consoles we tested here. And the biggest downside really is the fact that they don't really have a good warranty. It's just you got a 7-day return policy. And obviously GameStop as a company may or may not be a company you want to support, but compared to when we tried GameStop Retro last time, this is a legitimately big improvement. DKOldies, I mean, what do we say? If GameStop makes your prices look bad, you know that you f***ed up. What do you think, my friends? Has GameStop redeemed themselves? Have DKOldies dug themselves a deeper hole than usual? Subscribe to the channel, ring-a-ling that ding-a-ling, and if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go play some more Crazy Taxi. Yeah, 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 yeah.